Enlightened World Network. Dr. Ruth Anderson here for a meditation a day. Today we have a very special guest meditator, Holly Erin Copeland. She is coming to us doing a meditation called Attuning to the Flow Within. And Holly, I really appreciate how you started your description, which is we put all of this pressure on ourselves to come up with these intentions for the new year. And you're going, maybe that's not really what we should be doing here. So I love that. So looking forward to your meditation with you.
Thank you, Ruth. And thank you for the invitation to be here. I always love joining you and everyone on the Enlightened World Network. So thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Okay. Yeah, and I just want to say, based on what Ruth just said, that um, I think the theme that will come through that I invite you to work with on this meditation is especially this time where we are so bombarded, where we're in so many different social settings, we're going to parties, we're having a lot of inputs from other people. And actually, traditionally, this time is a going within time. This time of the solstice is actually about deep listening. And yet, we don't necessarily have cultural practices around deep listening. We're sort of pushed the opposite direction. I got to get gifts. I got to think about other people. I've got to do when we're supposed to be giving ourselves time to go within and listen and let that listening space guide us. And so I'm going to invite you into a space today of deep listening and attuning to your own vibration, attuning to the messages that your soul already has for you, that it already knows, that it's already working on, and you don't need to do anything to find that intention. We're going to work with a practice of listening ourselves into that intention, if that makes sense. So, and we'll use guided sound and guided meditation with enhanced with sound. I have a few beautiful friends joining me. I have this crystal alchemy bowl, that is a Egyptian blue crystal, and I have this heart bowl here, and I have a beautiful I'm forgetting the crystal that this is. But anyway, these beautiful partners that will support us in coming in. Oh, one more here. That will support us into finding our own flow and finding our own attunement within. So, with that, I invite you now to join me in closing your eyes. And as I always do, start by just taking a few long, slow breaths to center yourself. I invite you to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And on that exhale, exhale through a straw through your mouth. So go, and that'll help make that exhale a little longer than the inhale, which brings us into a state of rest, of resetting the nervous system. And so just keep that breath going, gently guiding yourself back into the space of your own body. And turn on those sensory attunements that we have. So feeling, what does it feel like to be in my body? Feeling your feet resting gently on the floor or underneath you. Feeling that connection to ground. Just starting to notice just what's here. And knowing that whatever is here is welcome. So that if you feel tiredness, your tiredness is welcome. If you feel sadness, your sadness is welcome. If you feel joy, your joy is welcome. All parts of you are welcome. Inviting your whole self here to this table. And maybe you invite some special guests. Maybe you invite any angel beings or spirit beings that you work with. Invite them here too. Christ or Magdalene, could be Saint Germain, could be Native American teachers and elders, Peruvian elders, could be mountain spirits or waterfall or mermaid spirits, could be unicorns. Whatever it is for you, whoever those sacred team, who's ever on your sacred team, just invite them in. Maybe you feel them surrounding you, one at your left, one at your right, behind your back. So you feel at a deeply felt sense level, you're not alone. You are walking this path with a great team. It has your back. Invite you to feel the impact of what I'm about to say. You are the most beautiful being that has ever lived. And I'll say that again so it really lands. You are the most beautiful being that has ever lived. And feel where that message lands in your body. To me, when I say that, it brings tears. And I feel it so deeply in my heart. Notice how that makes you feel. And then I invite you to send that message. Send the frequency, the love that you feel, however it's showing up for you, as a message to every cell in your body. So maybe starting with your toes and your feet. Send the frequency, I am the most beautiful being that has ever lived. Into your feet, into your tissues. Send it to your ankles and your knees. Send it to your thighs and your hips, to your beautiful genitals, to your pelvis, to your buttocks. And especially there, because this is an area that can have so much shadow for us humans. So maybe take some extra time to infuse the beauty of your being into your root, to your sacred parts. And then gently moving into your belly, your womb space. I am the most beautiful being that has ever lived. Moving into your diaphragm. And then into your heart space. Letting it touch all the corners of your heart. So letting it touch the back heart. The left and the right sides of your heart. Brushing each side with like tender kisses. Like if God were kissing you, how would God kiss you? Do it like that. And then into your high heart. Moving up to your throat. letting your touch and your intentions melt away any tension, any stress, any dissonance. It simply melts in the presence of I am the most beautiful being that has ever lived. Nothing can stand in the face of such beauty and brightness. No fear, no tension. Just melts away. Coming up now to the head and go right into the center, into the cave of Brahma in the center of your head. With this loving frequency, I am the most beautiful being that has ever lived. Like a light piercing through clouds. Piercing through any old energies, anything you picked up that's not yours, any old beliefs, they just vanish. They vanish in the face of this truth. And now feel your whole body all at once. Every cell containing this deepest truth and knowing of your beauty. What if it's absolutely as simple as this? What if all of the practices you've done have been leading up to this one moment where all that is needed, all that is required, is to simply integrate this knowing, this truth of your beauty at all the levels, and you do it now. No more waiting. Because the truth is that we can only discover our greatness, our enlightenment, if you will, in this moment. It's the only moment it will ever be found. And here you are, and here it is. And you decide right now that those old beliefs, they don't fit anymore. They're not you. This is you. This is you. And then now just drop the practice. No meditator, no meditation. You've done your homework. You can just rest and listen to the sweet melody of your own beautiful song. Let your intentions show you. Let them find you, not the other way around. Because the truth is, you don't have to know the way. The way knows the way. What if you could finally just stop paddling so hard? were the smallest bit of paddle in the water, like micro movements on your part, is all that's required. And then you let the universe take care of the rest. Because all the great truths point to this same one knowing. You simply anchor in the beauty of your being, in the beauty of your greatness. And you let her carry you home. That is what it means to attune to the flow within. And just feel, is there one word or phrase that you want to anchor in? A message that you received? Some new knowing? Just feel into that. Maybe you want to make a note in a journal. Something you will carry forward into this year as a reminder when you forget, if you forget. Knowing that this truth is always here and it always remains true. Which means you're never off your path. And just taking a few last slow breaths, bringing awareness now into the body. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes, just gently, gently coming back into the body. And when you're ready, very gently opening your eyes. And I thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. That was a long way to come back from on that one.
I could feel that too. I didn't want it to end, honestly. Could have kept going for a while longer.
No, that was delicious. And friends, one way for you to flag this meditation to yourself, if you want to come back to it again and again, is to, on Facebook, go up and just snag that link for this meditation and then send it to yourself in Messenger. And that way, when you go back to your messages that you sent to you, you can always find it. So yeah, it's a great, great way to not lose the meditations you want to return to. Holly, that was absolutely beautiful. Were you able to participate in it while you were doing it?
Totally. I was immersed in it. When I said, I felt tears when I said that phrase of you are the most beautiful being in the world. Like it was a felt experience. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, no, I absolutely felt it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Mhm.
One of the things that I'm hoping to do with the meditators this year as we go through day by day is to ask if they've had any particular new learnings, messages that have come across to them recently. Is there anything that you would like to share with us that has been a message, a learning for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. Um, I mean, it's the theme of this meditation, but I'll go back to reinforce it. It is the importance of deep listening and this attunement to the natural world, to the universe. For me, I attune really beautifully in nature, but it can be for any of us. It can be your favorite, you know, place in your house. That it doesn't matter. But the point is um, less. So it's such. It feels funny saying it because it's such timeless wisdom. Less doing, more listening. More deep, because when we come into that place of listening, then what I find is that the knowing springs forth on its own, that God, universe, source, is all it wants to do is to come through you and manifest into the world. But our mind and our mental chatter and our belief about the way things should be gets in the way of hearing those messages. And to me, the antidote to that is to do practices like this, or just go sit in nature, or even like I've been drumming in nature lately. Like I go out with my drum and or I sing. I go to an oak tree and I sing to her, and then I listen. Then I listen, and so that taking that time to really hear, it's like hearing your own song, right? And we can't hear our own song if we're caught in a cacophony with all these other voices. And I can get caught in this too. Like there's so many teachers I love that if I'm not careful, I will like over listen to some of these wise, teachers. But I forget that I'm like my own best teacher, actually. We're all our own best teachers, and we should always take time to attune to our own song, our own wisdom that's flowing through. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Spirit has shared with me coming into this year the importance of doing that daily.
Mm, totally. Yeah. As I think I'm writing a book in a Rewilding, and the very first practice is to create a altar and a sacred space for practice, for listening. And um, for me, if we don't have some sacred space in our home, and it could be a chair in a living room if you can't dedicate a whole space, or it can be like what I did when I first started doing this. I actually cleared a place in my closet because I had like a little walk-in closet, but it was like the only place in my house I could shut the door. So I was like, okay, this is what I have. So I'm going to clear out a corner of my closet, and I put a little meditation cushion there and a little tiny table, and that became my space, my sacred space. And it was so helpful to have a dedicated space. So if you don't already have one, for people listening, um, that's a great thing to begin this year, to begin creating a sacred space for yourself. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sitting in mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
My office, I'm very fortunate that it's right next to my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got this little suite in my home. But I've got orchids, I've got a little fountain, I've got artwork up that I love. I've got a prism on the window that shares, rainbows across the room. I've got little sound chimes that goes with solar. I mean, it's my space.
Mm-hmm.
I find the only time I come into it is to go be in that place of reverence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I said, like, not everybody is fortunate enough to have their own room to it, and just know that you can get really creative with it. Like it can be a corner of a room. like I've done that too. I had just a small corner of a room, and it doesn't take much. Like a little bit of intention with a seat and a little altar with a candle and a few items that are special to you is all that it takes to make that space sacred. So don't let your space be your limiting factor.
Right. And for a while, it was in my car. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be.
Where can you go?
Right. And we have to get creative, really creative sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Holly, thank you so much for this. Holly, what would you like friends to know about you?
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, I do a number of things. I have a book coming out called Inner Rewilding, and I have a newsletter that I write weekly. And I have a lot of faithful people who tell me that my newsletter really helps them. And so I invite you to join the 1,000 so people now that have my newsletter. If you'd like to receive that, and you can get that on my website, you can go to it. And also, I publish it at the same time on Substack. And so, which is a beautiful little, if you don't know about Substack, it's like a great kind of place for writers, and it's just a beautiful community. And so you can find me on Substack as well. And then I'm an Insight Timer meditation teacher, and I do live meditations there once a week. So you can find me on there and follow my channel there. So a couple different places that you can find my offerings. And yeah, I also do one-on-one coaching and biofield tuning sessions. So you can find all of that on my website, hollycopeland.co. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And excited that Holly is joining us again this year, once a month. So we look forward to that here at Enlightened World Network. Holly, thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Here at Enlightened World Network, we're walking this earth together, and we're here to support each other. So glad that you're with us, and keep coming back because there is something every single day. So take good care and God bless. We'll see you all soon.